50 miles south of Nashville, 25 miles south of Murfreesboro, and the lovely and now wet rolling green hills of southern Middle Tennessee. A big change from a dry dust bowl we had about a week ago, but it's that time of the month where we have the Bedford County Emergency Management and Homeland Security Director, David Kitchens, in to come talk about different things going on in public safety in Bedford County. Good morning, David.
Good morning.
Good to have you in. I guess it's good to see the rain, isn't it?
It is. You can say green now again. Unfortunately, we had that little.
I've been saying brown for a long time at Brown Hills of southern Middle Tennessee.
I was driving in this morning. I was looking, so I guess we didn't get much of a leaf change here, being so dry.
On the tree, off the tree.
Right.
It just died, right?
The wind yesterday afternoon when that cold front came through kind of took care of the ones that were just hanging. So
I mulched my leaves about 4 days ago.
Yep.
It doesn't look like I did.
Mine's full. I need to do that.
Yeah, they all kicked in and did that. And they didn't change. They changed a little bit, but not a whole lot, right? And, of course, we've had that kind of semi-drought going on for a while.
Well, we're doing a little bit better.
Good.
Part of the county was in moderate. The northern part had done a lot better. They'd had some more rain up that way. But we're still in the drought, and of course we still got. We'll see after the rain. I haven't heard anything, but we had some burn permits or burn bans on.
Yes, yeah.
So we'll see with the rain if that changed any of that. But
yeah, I know at my house it kind of pretty much drizzled all night long, so it's kind of the way we want it, right?
Right, and
we don't want a flash flood.
Right, kind of unfortunate for the trick or treaters last night, but they got started a little early. It didn't really come in until it started getting right at dark time. So
I was in the city of Shelbyville. Of course, I live out in the county right about the time it was dusk, and I will say there was plenty of them out there.
Oh, right. Sure.
I'm sure it discouraged some of them, but it didn't discourage a lot of them.
Oh, right.
The kids having a hangover from a sugar high last night today.
Probably, you're right. Exactly right.
Good for them, though. Good for them. So what do you want to talk about today, David?
Well, I thought we were always talking about programs and things that.
Well, you guys work a lot of them.
No, we do. So I thought we would change pace a little bit and do then and now. Since everybody, if you don't know, I took Scott's place when he retired, so he was instrumental in starting a lot of stuff for Bedford County and emergency management. And I thought, we talk about these plans, but understanding where they come from, and who better than to we're kind of maybe flipping this script today, or maybe I'm the interviewer.
I think you're the interviewer, David. I think where's producer Chase at? Yeah, cut.
No, I felt like we talk about a lot of these, but understanding and where they come from and philosophy and what we're doing with them now and where they've come to.
Okay.
So,
what do you want to start with?
Well, we'll start with our biggest. Let's see if you can get it. Our biggest program.
School safety.
That's right.
It's been the biggest program for a long time.
It has.
Yeah. So you want to ask me, David?
So how did that explain how that got started, and then I'll kind of lead into what we're doing now and where we're at. And
the state of Tennessee, this was probably 15 years ago, had come out with a grant. SAVE Act grant,
right,
where each county got a certain amount of money. And what came along with that grant was a checklist on, do you have these things in your school system to get your grant money? And at the time, it was right before, and folks remember the name Mike Bone. Mike Bone was the superintendent of schools for, more than 2-3 years here.
Right.
And he called me in the office one day and he said, Scott, I want to start working jointly with public safety. We have some requirements here. I want you to get together a joint team and work with folks here in the central office. And I'm coming up with a comprehensive school safety plan. So it was right before Mike retired.
Right.
But that's how it started. And we went to the city of Shelbyville, all the public safeties, to the county folks in public safety, and established a kind of a semi-permanent team to work school safety. And, of course, we had to come up with safety plans.
Right.
And then you had to do training, which you do in any program. So the staffs had to be trained, and then you had to do active drills. And that all started, I'm trying to remember what year it was, but it was whenever Mike Bone was retired. and he called me in, and we started to do that. And it eventually, of course, with the school system, and Dr. Garrett knows this because every time she's in here, I talk about 20% of our population in Bedford County is in a school Monday through Friday. 10,000 people are in a school. And over the years, of course, with all the visibility on school shootings and stuff, fortunately at that time, there wasn't a lot of counties that had those kind of teams. So for several years, the state of Tennessee kind of used Bedford County as an example on how to set up a team and work in partnership with public safety to get that done. And we always got great cooperation. Didn't really matter who the school superintendent was. Always got great cooperation on working school safety. But, of course, it's grown and grown over the years. And the state of Tennessee has a lot more mandates, which they should, I guess, on school safety. But it all started in a little small office at 500 Madison Street with Coach Mike Bone, the school superintendent, saying, Johnson, we got to work together on this, and you know all the public safety people, so let's get them together and start working. So it's been a great partnership. As you well know, you've been working it for years. You were working it before you came here, and up in Nashville, and then with TEMA. But it is the largest program by far.
It is. So we heard the then, now.
What's going on now?
Not much has changed. We're still a very big part of the school system in the school safety program. We still have our public safety is involved. We do working groups. We're involved with their EOPs, things like that. We've done. You're talking about training. We've done tabletops one. We're going to do an exercise after the first of the year. So all that, it's just the beginning of you starting that off with him and to where we're at now. And it hasn't changed. And I don't remember when that first got started, but
it's been a minute. But one of the things we did with the team, and we involved school system folks as well as public safety folks, and Tammy in your office went to a lot of this training too, is we found national level training at the National Emergency Management Institute, and a bunch of us went and got school safety, because they offer school safety training at the national level, to kind of get a baseline of training and how we should be building a program here. And the federal government actually paid for that. The county didn't. And it was a combination of school system people and public safety folks that went to that over the years. It's great training too.
Right, and we've done the same thing. We go to school safety training just to see where we're at.
Well, the state of Tennessee started offering a lot of it as well.
And of course, they made some changes and made it law. What was it, January 1st, 2023? July 1st, 2023. What schools and how school safety is going to look. Homeland Security came into that also, and we have a Homeland Security agent assigned to Bedford County now that helps us, and very instrumental.
Yeah, that's how the state of Tennessee's really stepped up on resources. And I think what happened, David, over the years is there were counties here and there that had fairly comprehensive programs, but a lot of the counties still didn't. In the state of Tennessee saw a void there, so that's when they started passing laws and mandating drills and that sort of thing, because not everybody was doing those things the way they needed to. And folks, it's a lot more than just, obviously the tragic school shootings get a lot of attention around the country, but it's a lot more than just training for active shooters. Obviously, you're training for medical incidents, you're training for fire incidents, you're training for weather. Weather's a big one around here, right?
Well,
that's your guys' thing, right? That's really the number one threat.
It is.
You got more chance of having a tornado or weather incident than you do a shooter.
Right.
But
chances are greater.
The thing is, you got to prepare for all of them.
You do.
And there was a lot of lessons learned over the years. And with the planning, and the plans have changed and have been adapted. And I know that now when schools are built, certain things are done that weren't done before.
That's great.
And it's a great program. And I always enjoyed working school safety with all the school principals and the superintendent. And I know most of the public safety people we had on the team were on it for years until maybe they turned over or some of us retired.
Right.
But, and I know you guys carried on that tradition and took it to a whole nother level. So that's a good thing, because nothing's more important than keeping our schools, our children, our staff safe And they have to know what to do when something happens, because we do have incidents every once in a while.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
So that's you're exactly right. And like you said, it's the biggest program that we have, and it's still very cared about, and the people at schools are passionate about school safety and what goes along with that, and we're glad to be working and be a partner with them.
Yeah, it's just something you obviously have to do, and it's a great program, and off and on over the years, I know that the school system, and I'm just glad that he reached out to us, to public safety, and said, this is what we got to do, and because you got to have the school system 100% engaged, and I know Dr. Garrett's fully supportive as well.
All right.
What else you want to talk about?
Well, let's then and now. Let's do. There's a little program that it's our church storm shelter program.
Oh my gosh! I tell you what we're going to do, folks. We're going to talk about the church shelter program. But I was looking at the clock. It's about that time for a 60-second commercial break, and we'll be right back.
When's the last time you've seen the eye doctor? Don't wait. Whether it's little Carter's first pair of glasses or keeping a good eye on your vision health as you age, your eyes are a precious thing. See personalized care for the whole family and friendly faces at Dr. Hasty Family Eye Care on 605 North Main in Shelbyville, across from the U.S. Post Office. Striving to bring you excellence in optometry every single day. Don't put your family's vision off. Make an appointment today at 931-684-2020. Personalized eye care for the whole family at Dr. Hasty Family Eye Care. Visit Kincaid Service Company today to experience the superior comfort of a Serta mattress. Serta has pioneered sleep innovation for more than 90 years, bringing quality products to more than 150 countries worldwide. Serta Comfort is validated by consumers with thousands of 5-star reviews and are designed and assembled in the U.S. at one of Serta's state-of-the-art facilities. Serta's award-winning mattress collections are created by providing superior comfort along with overall support and breathability. Get Serta Comfort by visiting Kincaid Service Company in Shelbyville. Online at kincaidservice.com.
Folks, this is Scott Johnson on behalf of Hopkins Farm Broadcasting here in Shelbyville, Tennessee, Bedford County. It's that time of the month where we're talking to David Kitchens, the Bedford County Emergency Management and Home Security Director, about a plethora of different things going on in public safety. Right before we went to the break, David mentioned the church storm shelter program, which started in 2007. Right. So how many years is that?
Many.
It's,
if you don't put a number on it, don't sound right.
Yeah, we had a volunteer named Carl Bailey that worked in the office there, Dr. Carl Bailey, and he's since moved on to Texas. But we were looking one day, and we did some research and found out that 90% of the homes in Bedford County didn't have a basement. Right. Because, we're built on top of a rock about 2 feet down. And
that has not changed.
If you've ever tried to dig fence posts around here, folks, if you can get down 3 or 4 feet, then you're lucky.
Right.
But so the vast majority of folks don't have a basement, and we are in Tornado Alley going down through here.
Right, we mentioned that a minute ago.
Yep. Weather's a huge issue, and we do get tornadoes and even sometimes extremely high straight-line winds that cause a lot of damage, not just tornadoes. So we thought, what could we do? Because people were clamoring for, where do I go? What do I do? I don't have a basement. And he came up with the idea of, what if a lot of these churches were built a long time ago, so they all have basements, right, or a vast majority of them have basements. What if we approached churches in geographical areas around the county that could open up for our public, not just for their church members, but for the public? And the goal was to kind of have everybody within 5 to 10 minutes of a shelter.
Correct.
Geographically, because folks just make a decision kind of at the last minute sometimes to go. So we came up with a bunch of churches that, for some reason, in the beginning, it was a lot of Methodist churches. Right. Not sure why they had basements. And then we branched out to the Baptists and the Church of Christ and everybody else. But it was, I think, of all the churches, and I won't mention who, we only had one church turn us down. They were just concerned about having general public coming in. But most churches carry insurance liability policies that cover it, because they have guests coming in all the time. Plus, the state of Tennessee had a pretty strict strong law that if you helped emergency management shelter people, that liability-wise, you're covered.
And that was TCA law.
Yeah, that Tennessee, absolutely. I know it's been strengthened since then, but there was a law. So that's where we started out with about 8 churches maybe in the beginning that participated. The radio station here was a key part of that.
Right.
Because we didn't have iPaws or those kind of texting programs back then. How do we get the word out? So we had to advertise it. If you listen to the radio station, because most everybody has a radio, you'll find out if the shelters are open or not.
That's correct.
And then Dr. Bailey recruited a lot of volunteers, a lot of them from the churches themselves. I was very impressed with the faith-based community because they really they're always looking for ways to give back to the community, right? We see that in disasters, and this was a way to give back to the community, and that's why I think the program from these churches, and a lot of times the pastors had to talk to their congregation or at least to their deacons or whoever before they approved it. Like I said, of all of them we approached, and it was a bunch, only one of them turned us down, and because they wanted to give back to their community.
Right.
And this was a great way to be able to do that. And then we put together a training program for volunteers. A lot of times in the churches, some of them were people just lived next door to the church that didn't go to it. They volunteered. And then
key holder.
Yeah, a key holder. And then they would be contacted if the weather was, and folks would come shelter. And, there's never a ton of people sheltering, a few hundred sometimes. And one time I think we counted 700 or 800 because it was the National Weather Service was kind of scaring everybody. And I think it's when that tornado hit in Murfreesboro across the interstate there. Okay. So there was serious weather coming, and we actually ended up sheltering a lot of folks. But over the years, we do appreciate what those churches have done and that sort of thing. But that's how it started with a volunteer coordinator there in emergency management. And we had a lot of folks over the years come and kind of want to benchmark. There were several other counties that started it. It's a hard program to keep up, right? To keep all the volunteers. It's difficult. Depends how often it's used. And our philosophy was we're going to open them and give people a place to go. If they don't want to show up, they don't have to. But we're going to give them. The government's going to give them a place to go if they want to show up. Just because we don't have basements here.
So now. The program still, we have about 9 churches in there.
It's kind of where it started. I know at one time we got up to like 12 or something.
We did have 12 at one time. But over the years, things change. I understand that. And volunteers change. It's a volunteer-based program.
It really is.
Yep. So, but yes, we have churches that are geographically located, so we can make it quick if somebody wants to get there. One thing you was talking about off the air a minute ago, being contacted about the schools program, and kind of the same thing happened with the weather thing, or with the shelters, is they changed the law. What's her name?
Heather Mathis.
Heather Mathis.
Channel 5.
Right. She
worked that hard.
Yeah, she pushed a law through that makes it people not liable to let people come in and for shelter for severe weather. And she actually contacted you and myself, and came down and talked to us about our program and how we did it. And so now they have a program that actually runs on the bottom screen, just like snow days when they're out of school, what shelters are open. And
that's a great capability for folks to have, to be able to get the word.
So yeah, like you said, Tornado Alley, if you hear that all the time, has kind of moved east and into our kind of area. It's something that we have to look at and all the time, and we are committed with our volunteers to open. And yes, sometimes we get 1 or 2, and we've had as many as 75 to 80 in some of them. So,
and I think the key is you guys are giving folks an opportunity to go somewhere when something's going to happen. And one of the things I did not mention, I'd be remiss if I didn't, was that initially the city fire department in Shelbyville and the county fire department volunteers and the full-time guys when we pulled the trigger to open them, they would actually had keys to the churches and would go open them, and then the volunteers would show up. I didn't want to leave fire department out, David.
Right, I know.
Yeah, because those poor guys, they might be in bed already, and they get the call from 911 going, open the shelters.
Right.
So we appreciate the work they did over the years. I know the program's evolved since then. I know you guys try and open them way in advance now instead of at the last minute. That way folks don't have to rush to get there, and you don't have to get the fire department necessarily go open them up.
Right. We try to do 60 to 90 minutes prior to, and we watch the weather too to see what's going on.
It's a great part of the job, isn't it, David?
We of course, work with the National Weather Service also, but we have a good contact at the Weather Service, and many times when we've had weather, he's texted or called and said, hey, you got to watch the northern part of your county or the southern part or wherever. So yeah, we have a good
the Weather Service, and you guys work closely with them. I mean, they know we have a shelter program, right? So a lot of times I know they call and go, hey, I know you guys opening your shelters? Because
and a good partner to us also is Shovel Weather. He gets information.
Okay. Okay.
So he picks up on it, and you mentioned the radio station. They have somebody that comes in during severe weather.
They do.
And
gets the word out.
Right.
So
what's
folks,
open.
Remember that. Tune in right here to 98.7 WLIJ on the FM dial to know which shelters are open.
Right.
And what time they're going to be open.
Correct.
And you can dial in right here and figure that out. But I was telling you on the break that we had one county from Virginia call us one time wanting to know about the program and how to do it and that sort of thing. So it is kind of a unique capability in the emergency management world. There are some counties that do it on a limited basis, but we always like to say we started here first.
Right, I know it. And just follow up on what Scott just said. In all the areas that we've talked about already, schools, our weather, storm shelters, things like that, different folks have come to us and want to try. I know they came out with doing a tabletop for like schools on exercises, and we were one of 3 counties that they picked to try that out. We were the Middle Tennessee county, so Bedford County is looked at quite a bit, and
it's good when folks want to benchmark what you're doing.
Right.
I mean, you must be doing something right then, Dave.
That's exactly what I was
when folks want to benchmark what you're doing, and I think that's the critical piece that you try and do as much as you can to keep folks here safe in Bedford County, make it a better place to live and work.
Yep, and we enjoy it. I know we're kind of pressed for time.
No, we're not. No, it's public safety, baby. We'll stay as long as we want.
There is some, I was going to cover some events that's coming up.
What's coming up?
So, this weekend. What happens is called spring forward, fall back.
Oh, yeah, that part.
The time changes.
Time's changing, baby.
Yeah. Fall back. You get a little extra.
Get a little extra sleep.
Right. So that's one thing.
If you're a shift worker, you get to work more.
I know, right. You get that extra hour. And then Monday afternoon, if you're out and about towards the airport or the hospital area, we're going to be having a drill. So if you see public safety people out there in...
what kind of drill are you having?
Oh, we're having a hazmat drill.
All right, hazardous materials.
Right. So if you should see them out there, we are going to put that out again on social media and things like that, so they'll know. But I just wanted to let
we'll get a bunch of people calling 911 then.
I know. So just kind of giving you a little heads up on that.
Well, good.
Also, Veterans Parade.
What's that?
Veterans Parade.
Oh, yes, that's coming up.
It's the 9th. Starts at 11 o'clock.
Come out and support the veterans, folks.
Let's see.
That's the usual parade route in Shelbyville.
It has not changed.
All right, there you go.
Starts there on Lane Parkway and up past the square and out.
And out Madison Street, yep.
And I'm sure there's going to be more on this later, but just mention to write it down in your calendar. December the 3rd is going to be Christmas on the Square.
Let me tell you something. Folks, write that down.
Yeah.
I know you guys are an integral part of the safety planning
working
for that.
with public safety is working with them to have a safe and
folks, this is going to be a huge, we'll be talking about it more as it gets closer.
Right.
It's a month away, but the Chamber of Commerce is sponsoring this isn't just it was called a tree lighting ceremony, but it's a whole lot more than that.
It is. And a lot of things. I'm sure, and then they'll probably be in this month sometime. They're going to talk about that probably.
They will. They'll come in and talk about it, but we're talking about bands out there. We're talking about reindeer in Middle Tennessee.
I know.
We're talking about a whole host of things that are going to happen for children and kids up on the square. I think it's about a 3 or 4 hour program.
I think it's maybe 3 to 9.
3 to 9.
I think it starts.
Okay.
At 3, so
all right, longer than I thought. Yeah.
So also, I have seen Santa wandering around town, checking it out. So,
really?
Yeah.
He's been hanging out down here.
I've seen
it's been like 80 degrees down here.
I know. He
might need some. You may have to call EMS.
Yeah, I know. A little warm for him.
Yeah, I'm glad he's hanging out. So maybe he's going to show up at that December 3rd thing.
He's
going to be huge, folks.
Maybe he's spotting it out.
We'll be getting a lot more details out on that, but I know David and his folks and all the public safety people working hard to make sure that's safe for families to come on. It's going to be a great family event. So. We
are. And then also put on your calendar, the 7th is Christmas parade.
You know, folks, this is, you may not believe this, but I know there's a tradition, the Christmas parade, but it's one of the large, for a town our size of Shelbyville, it's one of the largest Christmas parades in Middle Tennessee.
It's a big turnout.
You know, I know once it starts till it ends, and I know you're always at the tail end, Charlie, back there.
Right.
It takes like an hour.
Right. Well, it takes longer than that. About an hour and a half for the Christmas parade.
I mean, you know, I always used to joke when Austin Swing was the police chief, and he always led the parade. He'd be home watching TV before I got done at the end of the parade.
Right. You're correct. It's a great turnout. People come out for it.
It's a great program, a lot of good participation, and it's a good family event. And and working out all those years, and you worked at a bunch of years now, people are in the same spot every year.
Right.
You know,
they get there early to get their spot.
They get there early.
Yes, sir.
And they got their spot, and it's been the same families in the same space for generations. So that's a great tradition. So thanks for mentioning that, David.
Yep. And I just covered through the end of the year, so
there'll be a lot more. You know, one of the things that folks we always need to remind them is that in emergency management, you guys are facilitators, so you work with all the public safety agencies and other folks. And the bottom line is that special events is a big part of it. Like you guys just got done with the Arts and Crafts Festival in Bell Buckle. How'd that go?
I was going to say kudos to
that's
our
a huge event.
People. It is. We had a good crowd this year. We had good weather. Nice weather, best weather we've had in a while.
They always seem to luck out. They got the word in with the guy upstairs, I think, because the weather's usually pretty good out in Bell Buckle.
Right. Sometimes it's a little warm, and we had a little rain a couple of years ago. But
the warm leads to medical emergencies.
Right. But kudos to all of our public safety people out there. We had a pretty uneventful event. We had,
from a public safety perspective.
Correct.
That's the way we like them, right?
Right.
We want them boring.
Right.
That's the way we like them.
But yeah, they had a good crowd, so that went off well.
Well, I know that's been a great team effort between the town of Bell Buckle and public safety to make that happen, because, you know, I know there's a lot of different estimates, but you're probably looking at least 80,000 people over 2 days.
Probably 60, 80,000.
60 to 80. I mean, you think about that. That's bigger than the size of Bedford County coming into Bell Buckle, a town of like 500 people. So,
right.
But so it's public safety plan. I know you guys do a written plan for that.
We do. We have all laid out and try to look at all possible hazards or things like that may come up. So we'll have a plan for that. Of course, there's all kinds of interesting things that go through, like the train, negotiating the train that goes through during the festival, and having all the people.
The train goes right. Yeah, CSX goes right through the middle of that sucker with
all the traffic coming in. Of course, we've got 3 major highways that come in, 269,
state highways,
right? So
state highways, which means those are through highways,
right? So, but it went well this year.
Well, good deal. I'm glad to hear it, and they do a great job out in Bell Buckle of that. It's a fun festival, and the people that come to it are great people. So it's a fun one to work, but it's crowded, baby.
Right. They had about over 800, I think, vendors. So,
well, I know back when you were at TEMA, I mean, I always heard that it's the largest number of vendors of any event in the state of Tennessee.
Right. That's
that's a lot.
Yes, it is.
There's any food you can get craft ladders, you can get anything.
Yeah, you're right, and a bunch of people look forward to it, and they come from all over the country. So
people come from like 4 states.
Right.
I remember just talking to folks. It gets so crowded out there, folks on Maple Street, that the town of Bell Buckle puts signs up on their telephone poles.
That's
like
right.
Maple Street, there'll be a green sign on a pole that'll say M1, M2, M3. So if there's a medical emergency, you can't hardly. Well, I'm near the funnel cake thing. Well, there's like 30 of those.
Right,
okay?
right.
So it's like, look up and tell us what the street sign says. M3. Okay, we know where you're at now. So
yep, and that's
that seems like a small thing, but it's been a huge thing.
It has been.
To be able to find people.
And that's like, you progress through events and learn things, and that's one of the things we learned. It was you having a hard time, EMS having a hard time finding people when they need medical attention. So that sign idea came up, and they use it now.
They do a great job out there, and I know they appreciate all the help that you all do to help them put that on out there. David, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Well, we covered. We may go back to then and now sometime again.
We can do that another time. Yeah, we can do that.
But I don't think of anything else. We're already planning for the upcoming new year, so we got some drills and things coming on for that. And of course, we're constantly in meetings and doing all kinds of things.
It's never a dull moment.
No. One of our big state plans are due at the end of this year, so we've been working on that. So
Roger that. Well, it's all about it, because you got to have plans, because then there's clear expectations of what needs to happen by everybody, and then you got to train and practice, because you play like you practice when the real world happens.
Exactly.
I'm glad to see you guys are working with Vanderbilt Hospital out there to do a drill, because you play like you practice.
Right.
Well, that's the theme in the schools too, right? With the drills. That you don't have to think about it when it happens. You just do it.
Right.
Respond.
And we're talking about doing a live drill, but also just what we call tabletops, which is set down basically just like it says, a tabletop, and you sit down and you go through an incident to make sure everybody
who's responsible for what.
Right. Everybody's on the right page, and
especially when somebody goes, "I thought they were going to do that."
Right. And
that's one of the reason you do it, right?
Exactly. And we did that with Vanderbilt last month, prior to this live drill. So
good deal. Well, they're a good community partner out here. So we're glad to have Vanderbilt here. We'll go give them a little plug right there.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, Vanderbilt Hospital, and out there. And well, folks, David, if that's it, I know folks really appreciate what you and your staff do every day to keep Bedford County a safer place and to make it a better place to live and work to do it. So thank you all for doing that.
Well, you're welcome. I love what I do, and it's passionate to me. So yeah.
Roger Dodger that. Folks, we've been talking to David Kitchens, the Bedford County Emergency Management and Homeland Security Director, about various public safety issues and planning issues and events here in Bedford County. Tune in to WLIJ and 98.7 on the FM dial. We have 11 government-related talk shows every month. You get to listen. You get it from the horse's mouth. We like those terms here in horse country. I mean, you don't have to guess what's going on. You can listen to the folks that are actually doing the work to serve you here in Bedford County, Shelbyville, and our other towns and cities around the county. And we are also the only locally owned radio station in Bedford County. This is Scott Johnson on behalf of Hopkins Farm Broadcasting. Until next time.
Kincaid's is proud to offer Beauty Rest Black to our customers. Beauty Rest Black represents a leap forward in bedding with sleep climate technology keeping you cool, and triple-stranded pocketed coils give you luxurious support all night long. Wake up refreshed and ready to take on the day with a new Beauty Rest Black mattress from Kincaid Service Company, 400 Madison Street, Shelbyville, across from the Speedway gas station, 931-684-5662.
When's the last time you've seen the eye doctor? Don't wait. Whether it's little Carter's first pair of glasses or keeping a good eye on your vision health as you age, your eyes are a precious thing. See personalized care for the whole family and friendly faces at Dr. Hasty Family Eye Care on 605 North Main in Shelbyville, across from the U.S. Post Office. Striving to bring you excellence in optometry every single day. Don't put your family's vision off. Make an appointment today at 931-684-2020. Personalized eye care for the whole family at Dr. Hasty Family Eye Care.
Kick off your boots and stay a while. We're 98.7 AM 1580 WLIJ, Shelbyville, Tennessee. Now that's country.